Okay, let's talk about persuasion. When you're marketing, when you're selling, when you're engaging with clients, that ability to persuade or influence the conversation is crucial to your success. So I'm going to show you exactly what you can do to be more persuasive and to increase your influence. And I'm going to do this on the basis of one key assumption. And that assumption is that the person you are trying to influence looks maybe like this or like this or like that. Whatever they look like, they all have their arms crossed or not. And they all have, and this part is true, they all have brains. Now, why this matters is that you have to find a way to appeal to those brains. So how do you engage them? If you're out talking to them, talking about what you do, talking about the things that you want to do, you have to find a way to engage those brains. That's the trick, right? It's not the external person, it's that brain that you have to engage. So how do you get that brain to be interested in what you have to say? Now, there's a psychologist who won a Nobel Prize. Now, he won it in economics because there is no Nobel Prize for psychology, but also because economics is the study of decision making, why we do the things we do. Everybody thinks it's about money, but it's not. It's really about how we make decisions. So Daniel Kahneman studied how human beings make decisions, how we think about things. And when he studied it, he did confirm that, in fact, we do all have a brain. Despite rumors to the contrary, we do all have a brain. And in that brain, he identified two systems for thinking. And this is crucial to understanding how to influence an individual. Now, he sat down and thought really hard about how he was going to name these systems, and he came up with the incredibly clever System 1 and System 2. So he's very good at psychological research. Naming may not be his strong point. System 1 and System 2 operate very differently. So System 1 is your fast, automatic decision making, and System 2 is slow in its work and it's laborious. And back when he did his research 20 years ago, the slow, laborious did 10% of the work, and the fast, automatic did 90% of the work. Well, this has definitely changed over the last 20 years. Now, he estimates that instead of 10%, the System 2 is doing 2% of the work, and instead of 90%, the fast automatic is doing something like 98% of the work. Now, this is, as an aside, pretty consistent with some research that was done by some Canadians, where they measured our attention span and found that human attention span had gone down from something like 20 minutes in the 1980s, when everybody thought nobody had a long attention span, to about 8 seconds today. People weren't sure about that study, so Microsoft redid it and they found, no, that's completely wrong. In fact, it's actually 7 seconds. And people then tried to poke holes in the research. I think the thing that they were trying to poke holes in is the fact that they said that 8 seconds is less than the attention span of a goldfish. And how does one actually measure the attention span of a goldfish? Regardless, the clear thing is that fast, automatic part of the brain is doing all of the work. And that yet, if we want people to make decisions and to engage with us and do things and work with us, we have to engage that second part of the brain. So we've got to go for both. We've got to get that first part, System 1, interested, and then System 2 engaged. So someone went to Daniel and he said, hey, how do we engage? System 1, System 2. And he said, oh, what? Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. And then he said, oh, if you really want to know how to engage the brain, you have to go to Robert Cialdini. Now, Cialdini wrote the book in 1984, Influence. And he studied how we engage System 1, System 2, even though he didn't actually call it that before Daniel Kahneman cleverly named these systems. He figured out how to influence based on research done during the post-World War time and some of his primary research, where he went out and he took lots of sales courses and met with salespeople and looked at what was working and what wasn't working. And he was able to codify that, compare that with the research that was done in labs, and came up with 6 principles of persuasion, or 6 principles of influence. Now, in 2015, he decided there was actually a 7th, so he broke that out as well. And today we have the 7 principles of persuasion, or 7 principles of influence. And I'm going to tell you exactly what those are. So the first one is reciprocity. It's the idea that if I give to you, you're going to feel obliged to give back to me. The second one is liking. So the impact of personal connection and what we think about somebody. Unity, the power of shared identity, of belonging to the same tribe. Social proof, so trusting the choices of others. Authority, respecting expert opinions and credentials. Consistency, where you act in alignment with previous commitments. Scarcity, where is how we respond to limited opportunities or resources. And what I want to do is create a series of videos and stories and interactions to help explain each one of these and give you tips and tactics and strategies for implementing them in your day-to-day work. So stay tuned for the future videos, or check out the video. It might be already ready, and you can click down here to go check it out and get some of this influence power for your marketing, your communications, and the way you want to engage the world.